On July 9th, 2020, a drone captured in a 30-second long exposure photograph marks the sky as it spirals downward, enveloping the 60-foot monument of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. Thousands of citizens made their marks of protest and solidarity on the pedestal for the statue. The plinth became a canvas that documented the private, cumulative actions of BLM protesters using loud voices and colorful paint to declare themselves against racist acts of police violence and against Richmond's collusion with the Confederate lost cause narrative that perpetuates systematic racism. The New York Times recognized the space, now known as Marcus David Peters Circle, as the most influential protest art since World War II. Midway through the flight, the drone crashed between the legs of the horse and landed on top of the plinth. The drone was never recovered, which felt oddly symbolic of the sacrifice and risk it takes to confront these injustices. The local street musician, King Trombone, blew long-winded notes through the air, received by quiet bystanders, lighting candles and reading the handmade memorial placards of people murdered by police around the country. I hope this collaborative piece can remind people that racism must be illuminated before it can be undone. It's best we all work together. All right, and so what was just really crazy about this photo was I had just, randomly reached out to a drone operator, Chris Anton, and we just met that night. So we met about 20 minutes before this photo was taken, this long exposure. And what the plan was just to strap this small little LED light I had onto the bottom of his drone and just fly it in a circle around the monument. And we're just gonna kind of see how it looks, So we're gonna do a test shot. And what happened is this test shot ended up being the photo and the one and only photo we took that night. So as you can see, the drone starts at the top left, and that's exactly when the shutter opened on my camera. And then I had it set for 20 seconds, and you can see the drone started going to the right, and then he went back to the left, and then something happened at that point. It's hard to know exactly what happened. We were pretty far away. We're like, 30 feet away here. And I like to think that it hit Robert E. Lee in the head and then started to spiral down. And it actually ended up crashing in between the legs. And we were freaking out because there were people standing all around. And that was like worst case scenario. Someone gets hurt, it's pretty sensitive area where, it's very much open for collaboration, but, we didn't want to be imposing and causing more of a ruckus. There's a lot of people who would come through who'd cause trouble. And we didn't want to be one of those people. There's like armed security on site, no police really around. I mean, there are police, there's police surveillance, but it was very much, Black sovereign space, or it became so after the movement. So anyway, so I run over there and we're looking for the drone. Can't find it anywhere. My light had fallen down. It was cracked. It was still working, but so yeah, the drone was just stuck up there, and we were asking some people, anyone know how to get up there? We knew some people had climbed up there before. So, we didn't, and it's the long story short, we didn't want to make more of a scene than we needed to, So anyway, so we went back to the camera. I was like, oh my God, please, I hope this worked. And sure enough, that one test shot told the whole story of the drone. So it was just incredible luck. and auspicious moment that happened. So I had seen some artists doing and experimenting with drones, long exposure. Ruben is one, famous artist. So I was just inspired and just wanted to give it a shot. Just I knew the monument was coming down. Eventually, we didn't know if it was going to be 5 years from that moment or, a couple months. But so just, for the sake of art, that's what it was all about. And, trying to tell the story through art. It ended up being way more, losing the drone ended up being an important part of the story as far as, being symbolic of the sacrifice it takes, just being out there, not knowing if the police are going to come and tear gas all these people just standing around these memorials. And, it's a very, very peaceful night. So I was grateful to help tell the story of Marcus David Peters Circle as a peaceful place, because that's really what it was. There was, despite all the police violence, the people were rising up and holding the space as their own. So I was very much part of that. So I was mostly doing videography, just documenting, I saw it as going to a protest with my camera. Sometimes people would get upset that I was filming, and I would just, cut the camera off or move away. It wasn't easy at all times, filming, but generally people were grateful, especially when the police did come. Having a camera there ended up being really important just for the safety of the protesters. And, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like having a weapon, as far as having, or like more in the sense of self-defense of having something if it came down to it, in the courtroom, needing evidence that the police were violent, as we saw with George Floyd, of course. The footage actually is important in those instances. So,
in the Bible, how we like mysticize moments. This is something I feel like if they didn't know the story in like 200 years, it would be like a miracle,
Yeah. Yeah. And it was a strange time also as a freelancer. I was doing wedding videos before and didn't have much money, and luckily I had a little stimulus help, but really it was putting it all on the line with that shot. And so was Chris Anton sacrificing his drone for that shot. So just grateful it turned out.
Hey folks, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you're interested in learning more about the photographer, you can check out more of their images and stories on our website, scop.io, and buy our book on any major online retailer or your local bookstore. Tune in to our next episode. And don't forget to subscribe. See ya!